someday I want to have a real studio. I actually wanted to say something important. What just happened? So we're heading to the end of January, and already we've seen sweeping changes coming into effect rather quickly. And so part of my morning download this morning was, what am I bringing to the party around this? And one of the things that really just hits home for me is I keep talking about survival like it's a skill, like it's something that you learn. Chop wood, carry water. How do I get heat? How do I get food? How do I get sleep? And that's actually not what it is at all. And so what I want to do in this video is not talk about survival as a skill, but as something that's going to become extremely real, not from a skill set level, but the will to want to even live through what's coming next. So it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't kind of go all over the place, but the short version is, for those of you who've been with me a long time, I've talked about the struggle I've had in terms of wanting to live, but you've seen me struggle with how to survive. And I made a video a few videos back about how my brain works, and that's been the real issue for me, is how do I survive in a world that I don't belong in, I don't fit in, I can't conform, I can't comply, I can't shrink myself tiny enough to be in a box so that I can function and be productive in a world that says this is what you need to do to survive. And that's been an issue for me. It's been an issue for a fringe group of people, but we're coming into a moment of time where there's going to be a wave of people who are being told, you can't survive unless you conform and comply. And I think some people see that as an unwillingness to follow the rules, making waves, causing trouble. I spoke about why I felt like this kind of brain is important in the ability to say no. But what I really wanted to convey is this idea that survival isn't going to be just about the physicality of water, wood, shelter, basics. It's going to be about will and desire to want to live. And one of the words that came up, that's come up a lot in my life, and it came up, in this ADHD discussion as I was listening to I can't remember his name, but he's sort of the forerunning doctor on it, was tenacity. It's a brain that has a lot of tenacity, and it's the kind of brain that wants to do things that are hard. And so when you see me live and struggle, there's something about that I just need to do. And that's where that tenacity comes in. But the other tenacity, and this is the point of the video, is that in order to survive what's coming down the pike is going to be this thing I'm calling tenacious hope. Now, I watched a little movie called The Grizzlies. It's on, I think, Netflix, and it's about one of the northernmost cities in Alaska where the kids were committing suicide. It was the #1 capital, I think, for suicide at the time. It's based on a true story. It was in the 80s or 90s. And this teacher came in, and he decided he would try to teach them lacrosse. And if you know the history of lacrosse, it's actually a First Nation and Native American sport. What he did was with these kids, it's a good little movie, is he introduced hope, something to hold on to. And I think what it's going to need to be in this world right now is some kind of hope to hold on to. And this is going to be the divider. The divider is going to be, it's not going back to the way it was. There's no going back. Normal is gone. The hope that you have to hold on to is the desire to want to live for the value of life itself. That's it. Those are going to be the real survivors, not the one who have the skills, not the people who have the best set of stuff. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be who's tenacious enough, persistent, hard-headed, and willing to walk what I call survival road, because your will to live is that strong. And it's something I've never understood about myself, about a brain that is on fire. I spent most of my life up into my 40s wanting to die every single day. I still have those thoughts, but I could never follow through. And everything in this life for me has been about how to survive in a world I don't belong in. And that's That's why I call it, a nomadic outlander. Outlander means you don't belong. You're in a place you don't belong. And I've always known I don't belong, but for some reason, I don't quit and I don't give up, even though I fail at everything that's normal. I don't function in a world that's normal. I cannot conform. I cannot comply. It's just in my DNA. And we are moving into a period of time where the box of conformity and compliance is going to continue to shrink. And the question's going to be, are you going to keep trying to make yourself smaller and smaller and smaller to try to survive and be safe in this little tiny box, the irony of which I live in a tiny box is not lost on me, or are you going to dare to defy and say no? And have the will to live, even though you don't know how you're going to do that. I've been doing that for so long. I never know how I'm going to get from one month to the next. I've been doing that my whole life. And at some point you think I would relax into it. But I think we're moving into a period of time where this is going to be real for a lot of people. So I just wanted to share that as a message and as an idea, because it isn't about survival as a skill set. It's going to be an issue about survival as tenacious hope, because you value life itself. Not what you do, not what you own, not what you can buy, not by your status or your safety or your comfort, but something in you says, I want to survive. So my name is Jill. I walk on Survival Road, and I'm just trying to share a little bit more about what the real, raw, and authentic story is. It isn't about the skill set. It's about what's going on inside. And I think we're coming up in a time where that might have more meaning. And it just went down. What the So I hope to see you next time. I hope there will be a next time. Deep breath. Here we go.